Hey everyone, and welcome to the TBR Book Tag. So today I'm going to do the TBR Book Tag, which is essentially a tag all about my TBR, so let's get into it. Question number 1 is, how do you keep track of your TBR pile? Goodreads, memory, and also my TBR spread in my bullet journal. Question number 2 is your TBR mostly print or ebook? Probably ebook, because even though these look quite full, and they are quite full, and I've had to recently buy 2 more little mini bookshelves to fit more on, I've got more on Kindle, especially when you consider the amount of comics I've bought over the years, which I am slowing down now because I've got Marvel Unlimited, which means I can just read it on there, quite frankly, so that's saving me a ton of money and a ton of space. But when you consider the amount of comics I've bought over the years, and then the amount of Kindle stuff I've got, I think, can I check on my phone how much I've got in terms of Kindle books? Yeah, so there's about 900 on my Kindle. Admittedly, it's our shared family Kindle, but that's still a lot. And I don't own 900 books physically, so definitely Kindle. It's without doubt Kindle. That's just weirded me out, realising how many we had. Damn, I didn't realise we had that many. Question number 3 is, how do you determine which book from your TBR you're going to read next? A mixture. First of all, is there anything coming out that month? So if there's like a film adaptation coming out of like a book that I'm interested in, I'll try to read that book. Or if there's like a TV show or a film coming out that's like a Marvel thing, then I try to read stuff to do with that specific character. So like when WandaVision came out, I was reading a lot of stuff about Scarlet Witch and Vision. When Doctor Strange comes out, I will be reading all of the Doctor Strange that I own, things like that. So I sort of determine it that way. I then also have my TBR cards as well from TBR Assemble, which I also use. And then sometimes it's like, well, I really fancy reading that. Question number 4 is, what book has been on your TBR the longest? The Twig Trilogy. Look at this chunker. It's literally just, it's a bind up of the entire Twig Trilogy, essentially, which is part of the Edge Chronicles. The reason why I haven't read this yet is 1, intimidated, and 2, I haven't finished the Quint Saga yet, which is the prequel series to this one. You can read it without, but quite frankly, I prefer to read things in order, especially when it's a shared universe, because I like Easter eggs. I probably won't get the Easter eggs, but because it's been so long since I read the first 2 books in the Quint Saga, and then I'll finally get to the Quint Saga than this one. But either way, I do like it doing it that way. So this one's been on here for a good 10 years now. Still haven't read it yet, but I'm hoping to get to it this year. I've said that like 3 years in a row now, but hopefully I will this year. Question number 5 is, what is the book you've recently added to your TBR? The Book of Vishanti. This is a magical exploration of the Marvel Universe, and it is exactly what it says on the tin, essentially. It is an exploration of the Marvel Universe, and it's got like loads of different like drawings throughout it and explanations, things like this. And then also there are comments from Doctor Strange himself that he's sort of written in the corners, essentially. I'm so excited to read this one. It's also got a bit about Scarlet Witch in, things like this, so very excited to read this, but I will be saving it. I was originally going to read it in January, but I've decided that no, I'm going to save it for when Multiverse of Madness comes out in May, because I'm like that, essentially. I just want to read it then and just sort of bask in the glory of the Marvel Universe and the magic and all the rest of it. So this is the latest one that I've gotten, and I am also actually waiting on the companion book to this. That's sort of a companion, which is the Wakanda Files, which is from youre and is about the science of the Marvel Universe. So really want to read that one as well, but I'm waiting for it. W.H. Smith is taking a very long time to get it in, which I understand. There's a lot of problems with that thing, but yeah, that's my next one. After this one, I will be reading that when Wakanda Forever comes out. But either way, pretty. It's just pretty. I mean, look at it. It's just pretty, and I'm so excited to read it. It just looks so nice. I can't wait to read this. I'm gushing. I'm gonna shut up. It's just a pretty book. Question number 6 is, what is the book on your TBR that you bought specifically because it's got a pretty cover? I do not cover buy. Cover buy is not my thing. I prefer to have books on my shelf that I just actually want to read. I know some people cover buy, but it's not for me. So instead I'm going to show you a couple of the pretty books on my shelves instead. First of all, I mean, A Song of Race and Ruin is rather pretty, and so is the Gilded ones, especially with sprayed edges. I love the sprayed edges on this, but I mean, that's a really pretty cover as well. And then I've also got to mention the Hat Makers because it's shiny. Question number 7 is an unpublished book that's on your TBR that you're excited for. I have many. First one is Gallant, which is the next V.E. Schwab book, which has been described as The Secret Garden meets Crimson Peak. I'm not too, like, I'm not bothered about The Secret Garden, but Crimson Peak is one of my favourite movies, and it's V.E. Schwab, so very excited for that. There's also the final Aru Shah book. I really enjoy this series. It's essentially like Percy Jackson, but with the Mahabharata instead, with a hell of a lot more like pop culture references, which I love, and really relatable characters. I really love it. There's also the last Skullduggery book, Until the End, which looks like this, and I'm scared because it's the final ever one and I'm not ready for that yet. But I'm also very excited though for the orange sprayed edges, which matches my original ever Skullduggery book. So very excited for that, just for the pretty reason, but also scared. And then finally there's also Bloodmarked, which is the sequel to Legendborn, which is an Arthurian retelling. So question number 8 is a book on your TBR that basically everyone's read but you. I'm ashamed to say it, but The Hunger Games. I read this first one when I was about 15 when the books were coming out, and I have not remembered a single thing, and I never continued the series. So I want to reread it, but I'm counting it as I've never read it because I can't remember a thing at all. I just remember the movies. I've also never read the Bone season, but I am planning on fixing that this year. And then also Raybearer. I have never read Raybearer, but it is on my February TBR, so I will get to it this month. There's a few others I can mention, like Amari and things like that, but I'm trying to mention books I don't mention that often, so yeah, that one. Well, all those. Question number 9 is a book that's on your TBR that everyone recommends to you. Amari and the Night Brothers, wherever it's gone. There it is. Amari and the Night Brothers. Everyone screams about this book, and it's on the February TBR. I am pre-filming this, so I may have read this by the time this goes up, but at the moment everyone is telling me to read it, and at time of filming I haven't read it yet. Question number 10 is a book on your TBR that you're dying to read. First of all, Indexing by Shauna Maguire. I think she's supposed to be coming out with the 3rd book in this series this year, so I may try to put it off until then, but knowing me, I'll probably... Actually, no, I'm not, because this is on my priority list, so this will be read before July. But either way, I really want to read this one. I've also got Cute Mutants, which is a superhero novel about a group of nerds who get superpowers, and they're obsessed with the X-Men, so it's kind of relatable, so I do want to read that one. And then there's also Champions, which I've been dying to read for so long, but I am putting it off because Champions is a graphic novel series about a bunch of the Teenage Marvel superheroes, essentially, like Miss Marvel, Viv Vision, Nova, Miles Morales, people like this. Ironheart, I'm forgetting Ironheart. Ironheart's also in it, who's one of my faves. So what I want to do is wait for Miss Marvel and also Ironheart to debut in Black Panther. So Miss Marvel's coming out, and then I think Black Panther's afterwards, and Ironheart's going to be in Black Panther. So I want to sort of wait for those two to come out, and then I want to read them because those characters are in them. And then the final question is, how many books are on your TBR shelf? I'm scared to think about it, quite frankly, because now that I've totaled up the amount of books on my Kindle, which was about 600, and the amount of books I own that I haven't read, I think it's got to be nearing like the 700 mark. 700. I didn't realise it was that bad until like just now. I didn't realise I had that many. I'm going to have to really go some to get through some of this. I mean, I'm doing 28 graphic novels in 28 days, so that's good, but I'm just looking at all of this and just... I mean, a fair bit of this I've read, but it's about 700. Eek. And I've just realised that I forgot a question. I literally left out a question, and that was a book on your TBR that you never plan on reading. The Sherlock Holmes books by Arthur Conan Doyle. I'm a massive Sherlock fan. I don't know if you can see that, but I am a massive Sherlock fan. I love the TV series with all of my heart and soul. But I'm never reading the books because I really struggle to read mystery books, and I also really struggle with like classic writing, and that is both of that in this. So I'm probably never going to read them, but I'm keeping them because they've got Benedict and Martin on, which I love. But with that, I'm going to leave this TBR tag here because I'm pretty sure I did not miss any other questions. So with that, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give me a thumbs up. Comment down below, tell me some of your answers to this. I'd love to know. Or if you don't have that much time, leave me a magnifying glass emoji down below to let me know that you were here. I'll also leave a link down below to all my social media if you want to check it out, including to the Comic Book Sanctum, which is my website dedicated to Marvel Comics, which will have stuff about Miss Marvel, Champions and all the rest of it when the TV series and the films come out. Or if you're more interested in books, I'll also leave a link down below to my Etsy and Redbubble store, which sells bookish merch and bookish bullet journal stuff if you are interested in that. Or if you just want to see any more of my videos, please click subscribe here, and over here will be the link to my previous video. But until next time everyone, bye!